welcome back. Today for our YouTube channel, I wanted to talk a little bit about Spartan racing. I think there's a big misconception when it comes to Team 1DOS. A lot of times when people hear our name, they're like, oh, you're those Spartan people. The reality is a very small percentage of what we do is Spartan racing. What we actually do is we help people to stay motivated to get healthy. And for different people, this means different things. We have members that bike, we have members that walk, we have members who their goal this week is to just get off the couch 3 times because their health has gotten that far away from them. So what we do is we try to keep them motivated, but with the big Chicago Spartan Super coming on Saturday, we wanted to spend some time talking about Spartan racing and Team 1DOS. So probably the most important thing is a little background on me and why it is I got into Spartan racing. I think if you know me well, you know that I'm probably the most unlikely candidate to ever take this sort of thing on. I was a fat kid, I was a fat adult, I was teased as a child, I was an epic fail at gym class. I think the fastest mile I ever ran as a kid was maybe 13 or 14 minutes, and that was really a stretch. So the fact that I would be doing some sort of 5 to 8 mile race over 10-foot walls and through mud seems a little ridiculous. So how did I get started? Well, about 3 years ago, I promised my son, who was leaving for college, that I would get healthy. Actually, he made me promise him. So as I got started, I was about 30 pounds down. I had a whole nother 50 to go. A friend of mine recommended that I read the book by Joe DeSena called Spartan Up, which talks a lot about race philosophy. I actually told him he was insane and there was absolutely no way I was ever going to do anything like that. And he just said to me, well, even if you never do it, I want you to read it because I think that the philosophy that the book talks about is going to be helpful to you. As it turns out, he was right, and I came to learn that Spartan racing is really not about punishing yourself or seeing what kind of torture you can put your body through. It's really more about rising to challenges, doing things that you never thought possible in the hopes that that sort of philosophy would somehow bleed over into your day-to-day life. So a year and a half ago, my son and I took on the Fenway Spartan Sprint. I was terrified of heights. I was frightened at the top of the A-frame. I may have cursed and sworn a little bit over the walls, but nonetheless, I found that when I finished, I had somehow conquered a lot of things I've been afraid of for a very long time, and I learned a whole lot about myself. So along about that time, a really good friend of mine, Carl, who we will see in later videos, came along, and he was working on his own health journey. And at that time, we decided we would commit to the Chicago Spartan Super. We trained for months, him in Kansas City and me here in New York, and 2 other friends, one in Iowa and one in Chicago, committed to this. So we arrived at the start line a year ago with my son, who was already fit and healthy, about 285 pounds down between my 3 friends and I, and we took off on a race we never thought we could do. Little by little, step by step, wall by wall, through mud, under barbed wire, muscle cramps, all of it. We finished. We finished 8 miles, and we jumped the fire, and we cried, and we drank our beer afterwards and had an epic party afterwards where we showed off our bruises and had bragging rights. But since that time, all of us have come to learn if we can do this super hard thing, there's a whole lot in life that we can do that we never thought was possible before now. So, since that time, Carl and I have taken some time to start bringing newbies to races, to watch them experience the same kinds of things that we experience. So Saturday, Team 1DOS is super excited. We have a team of almost 25 that will be competing in the Chicago Super, with core 4 of us are the only ones who have raced before. So we have a whole team of newbies, all on their own health journeys, some who have fought off cancers and surgeries and obesity, and just a myriad of other things. We're all looking to find what they've lost on that course. So we are so excited to see their reactions as they conquer this. In the meantime, we want to talk a little bit about equipment. Our team of 24 is constantly asking me what to wear, what to bring, what's going to work best. So my lovely assistant, Jack, has laid this out for us. So let's talk a little bit about shoes, okay? Yes, these are muddy. I wear the mud with pride from this Spartan Sprint at Greek Peak. But these are Spartan shoes. These are very different than regular shoes. In my experience, I have found that they drain the mud really well. They drain the water. The gravel doesn't get stuck real well in these, and they just make it easier to move. However, lessons learned. This is my second pair of Spartan shoes. What happened to the first? I bought them the correct size for my foot. Yeah, that does not work on a mountain. They end up being too tight on your second toe on the downhill, and you find yourself minus toenails by the end of the day. So buy them a size bigger is my advice. So there's that. Then we talk about gloves. Okay, these are Fit 4s, and they just are basically grips. To be honest, I've now got 6 races behind me. I've used every glove there is. I find these to be the best because my fingers are free. They've got a nice rubber grip on the inside. And yes, I bought new pink ones just for this race. So there's those. As far as socks goes, I like a long compression sock. I think you're going to find that as you go over that wall, there's splinters at the top. There's things that are going to nick your shins. And plus, when you're looking at a super, that's a 5 to 8 mile race. Last year it was 8. You really want the compression that's going to be on your calves. So I found these to be good. To be honest, this is my second pair of these. What happened to the first? Well, don't do what I do and just leave them wadded up in a bag in a muddy mess after the beast for 6 months. So they've met their maker in the trash can. This is my race bag, my fancy Team 1DOS race team race bag. This is really important. You're going to want to bring a bag that has Cliff Bars, that has Gatorade gummies, that has a lot of stuff you're going to want after the race. I'm a big fan of electrolyte tabs after being cramped up head to toe, not bringing them the first time I raced. So bag is important. There is bag check, so that's it. Now, when we talk about garments, okay, I have learned compression is important, okay? When you're talking about being in mud and water, you want to have something between you and your shorts that's going to keep the mud from getting in there and really sticking in there. So I find compression shorts are important, and then I have to go with that, of course, the compression shirt that will go under our race tanks. So there's that. Now, why am I showing you my Lucky running bra? This is my Lucky Spartan racing bra, and the only reason it is it looks like Spider-Man, and it makes me feel less fearful as I go over the 10-foot walls. To be honest, I still don't do very well with heights. Usually my goal for a race is not to swear out loud where everyone can hear me. I usually fail that, but I still get over the walls nonetheless. And then I always have, these are mud shorts. They are put out by Spartan. I've tried several others. I like these the best. They dry quick, they don't hold the mud, and can keep you moving pretty well. So there's those. As far as our team race tanks, you're just going to have to wait a week. A week from now, we're going to put out our pre and post interviews with lots of our newbies. We're super excited to see what their reactions are and to see what's going to go on from here. And from our perspective, if you like what you saw and you're interested in it, please subscribe to our channel. We've got links to our webpage and to our Facebook page too, because we believe Team 1DOS can never be too big. Thanks, everybody.